I wanted to have my own web series, so here it is.
I've been stressed out lately in my own apartment. I think that I greatly need a change of pace and a change of place. I need a studio. I'm sick of living with a friend. I need a studio. All this sharing's gotta end. Sometimes he changes the channel on my TV, and he's always in the shower when I have to pee.
At MIT, we chose our own dorms, so I picked the one that was mostly singles because I live alone and like it, and the thought of having a roommate repulsed me. Only 2/3 of the freshmen at East Campus got their own rooms, so they asked us to write an essay on why we thought we deserved it. I instead wrote a poem, and I think my most convincing rhyming couplet was, "And I bang all night on my keyboard, which cannot be ignored." Suffice it to say, I had my own room for 4 years. At NYU, unfortunately, the graduate student housing did not offer private bedrooms for first years, so I was forced to share a studio. It was the worst year of my life, partly because of the housing situation. My first roommate was an asshole who was more selfish than the Grinch. His friend made a $30 long-distance phone call on our landline, and he refused to cover it. Also, whenever I watched TV, he insisted that I wear headphones. Finally, he refused to split the cable bill, even though I always found it on his favorite channel, CNN. If he had had a roommate agreement, I suspect it would have been worse than Sheldon's. Then I moved to a 2-bedroom in the East Village, which was really tiny. My room was small, but the other room was literally a closet. My first roommate there spent most of his time at his girlfriend's, which was great, until he decided he should just move there and sublet his room. 3 roommates in 1 year came out of that closet, and although I liked all of them, it was more claustrophobic than Fraggle Rock. From there, I moved to a 2-bedroom in Hell's Kitchen, where I went through 6 roommates in 3 years. I liked all of them but one, who was there one summer for 2 months. He was super macho and left his AC on 24/7, racking up humongous electric bills which he refused to pay more than half of. And worst of all, he had an unemployed friend staying with him for 2 weeks, which turned into the entire 2 months. It was like a bad episode of Three's Company. When that lease was up, I trolled the Craigslist and was miraculously able to find a rent-stabilized midtown studio. And although it is smaller than my dorm room senior year, I can postpone doing laundry by wearing fewer clothes than Emmy Rossum in an episode of Shameless.
I need a studio. No dirty dishes in the sink. I need a studio. The whole place won't have to stink. No stupid small talk the minute I'm in the door. No one using all my toilet paper anymore. Finally, only my name on the lease, and by keeping lights off, my bills will decrease.
Want me to go first?
Yeah, go first.
Oh my god, so I just recently moved to a 3-bedroom apartment, and you know my Julia, we found each other first, and we were looking for a third, and I get an email from her current roommate, she's supposed to move in the next day, mind you, that they just found some paperwork on her that she was a convicted felon. She was convicted of petty larceny for stealing from an apartment store, like pretty recently, so needless to say, we told her that she couldn't move into the apartment the next day. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. Well, I actually don't have any issues with any of my roommates. They all love me. I'm really nice, and I just kind of get along with everybody. I think everybody loves me. Yeah. So no complaints.
So I was roommates with my brother at LSU, and he got a girlfriend, and I found myself without a place to stay. So I ended up staying with my 280-pound best friend, and that was disgusting. So I ended up sleeping in the living room the rest of the semester.
Okay, well this is actually funny. She's one of my favorite roommates that I've had, but she would have this bad habit of leaving dirty dishes under the bed, and so one time when we were cleaning the room before we had to go home, this one dish that had meat in it, and it was all, you know, molded over, and it was gross. And she's like, Tiffany, can you wash these dishes? I was like, can you wash this one? Because this is disgusting. And she did, but yeah, it's pretty gross.
Well, in college, one day I was in between classes and I had to go back to my room to get my books, and my roommate was banging his girlfriend. It was cool, but they were doing it all the time, and I got really pissed off. It's just like I just couldn't handle it anymore. So I walked in to the room, just giving them enough time to cover up with 2 other people, and then we left one guy in the room to make it think. Like the guy was in the room watching them have sex after I left.
Oh, okay, so in college, I had this roommate, and we had bunk beds, and she was on the top bunk, and I couldn't see her, and me and my boyfriend were on the phone, and we got a little telephonically intimate, and she listened to the whole thing, and didn't leave until we were both finished.
In my new studio, I'll never have to compromise. In my new studio, I won't get some huge surprise one day when I find his friend screwing on my futon, nor walk on him accidentally when he has his birthday suit on. Finally, an apartment, that's all mine. Who cares if it's only 9 by 9?
I had the roommate to top all roommates. I'm talking worse than Megan on season 1 of Felicity. Yeah, I don't know what her deal was, but she seemed to have an aversion to toilet paper. Now, I don't know if maybe toilet paper personally offended her at some point in her childhood, like she had some weird history with it. I don't know. All I know is that she never bought any. It was always me. So I came home from a gig. I'd been away for like 4 months, and I'm hoisting my suitcases up the stairs, and I'm like, hey, and the first thing she says to me is, hey, could you pick up some toilet paper when you get a chance? Well, I haven't even been here. Why is that my responsibility? So anyway, I decide that I'm not going to take it anymore, and I say very nicely, hey, can you please pick up some goddamn toilet paper? And she said, I bought Swiffers. And I said, that's great, thank you. We don't need Swiffers, they're not on our household budget. Thank you, can you please pick up some toilet paper? And she said, but I bought a bucket and a sponge. Yeah, that was how she talked. Creepy. And I'm like, yeah, okay, thanks. Well, I bought dish soap and Drano. It's a hard knock life, I know, but can you please pick up some toilet paper? And finally, she said okay. But guess what? She didn't do it. So at this point, I decided to hide everything in the house that could be fashioned as toilet paper. Tissues, paper towels, computer paper, money. Yeah, I don't know, gone. You couldn't find it anywhere. And I thought, this'll do it. And then one day, I come home, and there are giant turds left in the toilet, in the clogged toilet. And she's off at work. She left the house like that, knowingly. And I really gotta go. So, who has to plunge her shit? Yeah, that's right. And I do it. But as I was doing it, I thought to myself, what did she use as toilet paper when she took that giant shit? I guess that's just gonna have to remain one of the big mysteries of the universe. But you know what? That's okay, because
It's my new studio! No one will ever eat my food in my new studio. I'll be forever in the nude with no one to argue. I will always get my way. Finally, I can pleasure myself any time of day. And once I get one, I will stay forever. And I will never have a roommate again. Amen.
Today's moral is having roommates is a horrible thing, but sometimes a financial necessity. Thankfully, I will never have to have a roommate ever again, except the one who meows. And the season finale is all about Smee. See you then on Everyday a Little Seth.
I wanted to have my own way.